Back before Trump took office, there were some right-wingers out there proudly proclaiming that mass deportations were popular among the American people. It's a mandate. People want this. And you know what? There actually was some evidence for this. There were some polls that suggested that mass deportations before Trump took office were popular among Americans. However, now that sentiment has definitely shifted. CNN reports Americans largely opposed recent efforts by Trump's administration to scale up its deportation program, a new CNN poll conducted by SSRS finds, with a rising majority saying the president has gone too far in carrying out deportations. In the latest survey, 55% say the president has gone too far when it comes to deporting immigrants living in the U.S. illegally, up 10 points since February. That's to be expected. People like the idea on paper, or at least a majority of people might have seemed to like it on paper before Trump took office. Like, oh yeah, the media is telling me illegal immigration is a huge problem and we've got too many people in here. And I heard about some bad stuff happening with illegal immigrants, so I support mass deportation. They say they like it on paper, but then in practice it happens. And progressives, I think, generally did a decent job of calling this out and kind of getting a narrative going about this, talking about them getting into Home Depots, ICE raids everywhere, and calling this out and kind of making it known, because normally progressives are not that good at creating a narrative. But I think one thing that they were pretty consistent on, both center-left neoliberal types and actual hardened leftists, is saying, hey, look, this is wrong. Look at this. These people are just rounding up just random people and bringing them into vans, unmarked vans. They're wearing masks so that you can't identify them because they know that what they're doing is basically a crime against humanity. So they correctly identified that this was a problem. And as a result, 55% of people are saying, no, we don't like this. So opposition among Democrats and Democratic-leaning independents has risen in that time from widespread to nearly universal. 90% of Democratic-aligned adults now say that Trump's deportation policy has gone too far, while just 15% of Republican-aligned adults say the same. A 57% majority also say they oppose plans to build new detention facilities capable of holding up to 100,000 undocumented immigrants, while 53% oppose increasing the budget for immigration and customs enforcement by billions of dollars. Two White House priorities reflected in the sweeping policy bill that Trump recently signed into law. Most Americans now say that President Trump's deportation plan has gone too far, and there's an image of this. 90% of people who lean Democratic say it's gone too far, 55% of U.S. adults, 15% of Republicans or Republican leaners. That sounds about accurate, although I wouldn't be surprised if it were a little lower among Republicans. But yeah, there are people who generally are Trump sympathetic who are kind of like, yeah, I don't know about this, to be fair. I give them credit for thinking for themselves and not just lining up behind the regime and being like, well, it's time to get these people out of here. That's really cool. Stephen Miller is based, bro. Stephen Miller is doing a really bad job. He's doing a really bad job with his whole optics thing. Maybe in his view, he's not, because he doesn't care about looking good. He cares about, getting his stuff done. But yeah, this is super draconian, and 90% of Democrats, I'm almost surprised it's not like 98, 99, 100% of Democrats who are saying that they're strongly opposed to this. Nearly 6 in 10 oppose efforts to end birthright citizenship, another Trump priority. The courts are reviewing the president's executive order seeking to bar birthright citizenship for children born on American soil to parents who were in the country unlawfully or who were there lawfully but temporarily. Overall, just short of half, 46%, say Trump's immigration policies have made the country safer, and 42% say the federal government has been careful about following the law and carrying out deportations. Both figures are largely unchanged since April. The president's approval ratings are around 40% for his handling both of immigration in general and deportations specifically. 42% saying that they're ignoring the law. That number should be higher, but I'm not surprised because unfortunately, most Americans might not totally understand constitutional law and how due process is not an option. It's not an option. And no, it doesn't just apply to American citizens. So you can take that cheap talking point and run away with it, go to the corner, because that's ridiculous. So yeah, we have to give everyone due process, and the Trump administration has failed at that time and again. I also have to say, I think Alligator Alcatraz might have been a breaking point in some sense where it's like just a casual cruelty. I don't know how many people are aware of Alligator Alcatraz, but Trump, DeSantis, and Kristi Noem, they're like, ha, 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 we're creating a little fortress to keep these people in, and there's alligators and big snakes around it, and yeah, they might get attacked by them. That might be pretty funny. There's no way they're gonna get out. Ha ha ha. Just yucking it up about being, fascistic, really. Fascistic. It's a concentration camp. It is. Let me know what you think about the rising unpopularity of Trump's immigration policy in the comments below. Like, comment, or subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. This is the more the merrier, and I look forward to speaking to you in my next video.